And I have no way of knowing when I'm photographing myself, ever. Well, what's the result? It was the surprise of finding out what would happen if I did this. At the time that I started to make photography seriously, I wasn't aware of self-portraiture as a genre, or even as something that one would do with a camera. And if one tries this, if they know that there's a place where they can go and all by themselves into a forest, nobody knows, take their clothes off, walk around for 20 minutes, then get dressed, and then come out of the forest, I think that will be a transformative experience. I'm not saying people need to walk around naked, and I'm not advocate of nudity in that way at all. But in the photographs, and especially in black and white photographs, where the idea of the texture of the skin and the light, and it becomes an element like the gray tonalities of a tree. I have no assistant, I'm by myself. When an image idea comes to my mind in a location, and I say, I bet I can do this. And it's difficult, or it's cold, or it's snow, or up on a cliff, that my fear is that I'm going to make a mistake. And if I make a mistake in some cases, then I would be dead. I would. And there's one image in particular from 1974 that shows one leg only, and I'm on a cliff covered with snow, and there's a sea, and a very dangerous picture. Everything disappeared except for my rear end and my leg. When you look close, there's a white line under my butt. It's the reflection of the snow coming back on the body. That reality is the documentary truth of that image. And the one thing I did not want to do, I didn't want to manipulate. I am a documentary photographer. And I started to title them self-portraits so people knew I was the person who was in the picture. But as I made a series of these images, it also, and because I was nude, it also fell into the category of the male nude in photography. But as a heterosexual man, I felt I wanted to bring the female figure person into the picture. So this one is called Self-Portrait with Selva, and she's a very dear friend. In this picture, we're in Malta. Here's the Mediterranean, here's the cliff. And we're like this little dot here. And then I put the camera, and I give the responsibility again to the camera to take the picture. 9 seconds later, we're joining hands, and that's what it saw. I become part of her, she becomes part of me. I have found that through surrealism, through the juxtaposition of elements that don't necessarily go together, that the ability to create images that become memorable, meaning we remember, oh, there's this picture with 3 fingers. So we don't have to see it anymore to see it. Images like that are what I think photographers are searching for. There's the one in the show with these 2 buildings. I would put the camera under the window tight, turn the self-timer on, and then I would just angle my hands out to where my eye lines up. And the image, for many people, for myself, still holds the surreal charm, perhaps, of the wish to move the buildings away and to see the sky. This recent picture, Hope, Maine, it's the first picture where I feel old. I feel like up until then, you could not tell my age in the pictures very well. The old man arrives, and the tree itself is falling, a dying tree, and on the dying tree is a dying man. I want to go as long as I can. I want to live many years. But I want to see what the end does. I wanted the challenge of seeing, when will I not be strong enough to lift my own weight? When will I not be able to bend the way I can bend? When will the tree fall?